Jonnie Hughes, A Life on Our Planet, My Witness Statement and a Vision for the Future. Embark on an enlightening journey with Jonnie Hughes in A Life on Our Planet, My Witness Statement and a Vision for the Future, as he delves into David Attenborough's fascinating transition from childhood fascination with the natural world to a lifetime of environmental advocacy. The book offers a compelling chronicle of human impact on our planet, showcasing the beauty and fragility of Earth's ecosystems. In doing so, it underscores the importance of restoring environmental balance and the urgency of addressing global issues like climate change, extinction, and habitat destruction before it's too late. Discover the sweeping history of Earth, the impact of human activity, and the vital solutions needed to secure our future and restore the planet's biodiversity.
Evolving perspectives on nature. As a child, David Attenborough's endless curiosity for the natural world led him to discover fascinating fossils, igniting a passion that would define his career. As he grew older and began working for the BBC, this fascination transformed into concern as he witnessed the destruction of ecosystems through our expanding civilization. One poignant encounter in Rwanda with endangered mountain gorillas solidified Attenborough's realization of humanity's imbalance with nature and the urgent need for conservation. David Attenborough's love affair with the natural world took root during his childhood in the countryside of Leicester, UK. Here, he embarked on countless cycling adventures, hunting for ammonites, ancient, spiral-shelled sea creatures embedded in limestone. These fossils marked the beginning of Attenborough's enthrallment with the Earth's history and the miraculous life that inhabits it. His knowledge deepened as he learned the tragic fate of ammonites and the broader extinction events that have shaped life on Earth. Among these was the most recent mass extinction, marking the end of the dinosaurs and setting the stage for a newfound stability that would eventually support human development. As the first species capable of creating culture and sharing knowledge across generations, humans took full advantage of these stable conditions, harnessing nature to build civilizations. The dawn of civilization around 10,000 years ago in the Middle East saw the emergence of agriculture and animal domestication, paving the way for trade and specialization. However, these complex societies remained dependent on the stability of their environment, a lesson Attenborough would soon discover was perilously at risk. As he progressed in his career at the BBC, which began in 1952, Attenborough witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of human activity on ecosystems around the world. His travels brought him face to face with the overwhelming consequences of our rapid development, from diminished biodiversity to vanishing habitats. In a pivotal 1978 trip to Rwanda, Attenborough encountered a group of endangered mountain gorillas. An unforgettable interaction with a mother and her infants poignantly revealed the drastically reduced population of these magnificent creatures, driven by deforestation and poaching. This experience served as a stark wake-up call to the scale of destruction inflicted by humanity on our planet's most precious resources. Through his astounding journey from curious child to seasoned environmentalist, David Attenborough's shifting perspective on the natural world demonstrates the significance of our connection to, and responsibility for, the Earth we inhabit. With growing awareness and urgency, we must strive to preserve and protect the breathtakingly diverse ecosystems that sustain life itself. Attenborough's environmental awakening. In the late 1970s, renowned television naturalist David Attenborough's series, Life on Earth, exposed him to the urgent and devastating consequences of human impact on our planet. By observing the shocking plight of blue whales, rapid deforestation, melting polar ice caps, and the destruction of coral reefs, Attenborough became acutely alarmed. Although his work has inspired change, such as the ban on whaling, he underscores the need for urgent, far-reaching action to save our planet. David Attenborough's groundbreaking series, Life on Earth, revolutionized the way people saw and understood the natural world. The series reached an astounding 500 million viewers in the 1970s and offered Attenborough an extensive platform to document the Earth's history, while simultaneously observing the alarming impact humans were having on the environment. One shocking revelation Attenborough encountered throughout his travels was the imminent extinction of the blue whale, the world's largest animal, due to human actions. He realized that over 3 million whales had been killed in the 20th century, which posed a disastrously grim future for these majestic creatures and the overall health of our oceans. Attenborough was also deeply disturbed by the environmental degradation and habitat destruction he witnessed globally. Staggeringly biodiverse rainforests were rapidly being replaced by oil palm plantations. By 1989, 2 million hectares, an area approximately the size of Colombia, had vanished. Today, we have lost half of our planet's rainforests. Additionally, Attenborough's series Frozen Planet shed light on the alarming situation at Earth's poles. With summer lasting longer than ever in these regions, our globe's temperature rise, causing unprecedented melting ice caps, posed dire consequences for the planet's future. Indeed, the world experienced a temperature increase of 1 degree Celsius compared to Attenborough's birth, a record-setting change within the past 10,000 years. As human beings continue to burn fossil fuels, our oceans have become vulnerable to acidification and temperature spikes, resulting in expansive coral reef die-offs. These once vibrant havens of biodiversity are now vanishing at alarming rates. Despite the exceedingly troubling discoveries, Attenborough's work has inspired meaningful change. His series Life on Earth captured the first whale song which, in turn, generated public support for anti-whaling campaigns, leading to governmental bans on whaling practices. The recovery of whale populations serves as a glimmer of hope. Urging humankind to rise to the challenge of saving our planet, Attenborough emphasizes the immediate need for swift, comprehensive action, otherwise, we face the irreversible degradation of life on Earth. The Great Decline approaches. Imagine a world where progress, optimism, and technological advancements had no limits. That was the essence of the 1950s. From gargantuan moments, such as casting the first baby steps into outer space, to the small-scale buzz of everyday life, we truly believed that anything was possible. But the seeds of our undoing had already been planted in this era of growth, and they've grown into a looming environmental catastrophe. Once our planet's resources are exhausted, we face the Great Decline, a severe degradation of our quality of life on Earth. With only 90 years to turn things around, we must act, or face the consequences. Over the next few decades, we'll witness a series of environmental dominoes that will force us to confront the impact of our choices. The 2030s will see the collapse of the Amazon rainforest, impacting biodiversity, intensifying water shortages, and triggering flooding and wildfires throughout South America. The loss of the Amazon's natural carbon capture will only accelerate global warming. Simultaneously, the Arctic will experience its first ice-free summer, disabling our planet's climate regulation, as reflections from ice or snow cool the Earth's surface. This critical failsafe will vanish, leaving unchecked warming in its wake. Matters will only worsen in the 2040s when Arctic permafrost thaws, unleashing landslides, floods, and a staggering 1,400 gigatons of trapped carbon gas. This event will turn on a carbon tap that will be unable to shut off, exacerbating the greenhouse effect and trapping more heat in our atmosphere. As we drift into the 2050s, ocean acidification will decimate 90% of all coral reefs, eventually heralding the downfall of the fishing industry. But the challenges won't be confined to our waters. By the 2080s, food production on land will be crippled due to soil exhaustion and insect die-offs. Finally, the 2100s will be a time of mass migration, as cities become uninhabitable because of rising sea levels and soaring temperatures. A staggering 29 degrees Celsius will be the everyday reality for over a quarter of the population, reminiscent of today's sweltering Sahara climate. Now, we stand at a crossroads. Do we want to watch our planet slowly but surely crumble under the weight of our negligence? Or do we take a collective stand and reverse this disastrous trend? This question remains unanswered, but change can only come once we acknowledge the reality of our situation and empower ourselves to fight against the Great Decline. Achieving equality for sustainable future. Nobody wants to witness the devastation caused by uncontrolled human population growth and its destructive consequences on the planet. To avoid this, we must work collectively to create greater global equality, which can help slow down human population growth. By empowering and educating women, we can potentially reach a sustainable peak in population size earlier, reducing the strain on our environment. The unsettling reality is that scientists have identified 9 planetary boundaries essential for human survival, and we have already crossed 4 of them. If we continue on this reckless path, a catastrophic outcome is inevitable. However, hope remains. We can reduce the damage by taking immediate, sweeping actions. A crucial aspect of this process is addressing human population growth, for which creating greater equality is key. The United Nations projects that Earth's population in 2100 will range between 9.4 and 12.7 billion. In nature, an environment's carrying capacity refers to the number of individuals in a species that can be supported. When any population exceeds this limit, many will perish until a sustainable balance is achieved once more. The most frightening aspect of this is that we do not know the carrying capacity for humans. Failing to curb our population growth before that unknown threshold spells disaster. The silver lining is that our global population can stabilize if we focus on improving overall living conditions. Generally, as nations develop, their populations initially surge and then eventually level off. This pattern emerged in 20th century Japan, where the population plateaued in 2000. Similar trends have been observed worldwide since 1962, proving that the population growth rate can indeed slow down. For Earth's sake, reaching this peak sooner is preferable. There are feasible strategies to expedite this population peak and lower the threshold. Women's empowerment proves to be a successful approach. When women gain more freedom and control over their own lives, they generally opt for fewer children. Education plays a vital role in this regard. Investing in education could bring the population peak 50 years earlier, saving the environment from the burden of an additional 2 billion people. Simply put, creating greater equality and promoting education are not just ethical imperatives but also essential steps towards a more sustainable future. The sooner we realize this and act accordingly, the better our chances of avoiding irreversible damage to our precious planet. Rewild Earth for stability. Our planet's stability hinges on its biodiversity. As the world witnesses a decline in biodiversity, it's crucial to restore it and create conditions that allow life to thrive. We must focus on protecting international waters, establishing no-fish zones in coastal areas, and redefining the value of land based on biodiversity rather than ability to grow crops. Our ability to live comfortably on Earth is deeply intertwined with the biodiversity of our planet. The decline in biodiversity we've experienced in recent decades has left the Earth increasingly unstable. To restore stability, we must create conditions that allow biodiversity to return. This means rewilding Earth. International waters have long been areas of unregulated fishing practices, owing to their lack of ownership. Fishing crews have engaged in destructive techniques, such as trawling, that have devastated habitats and caused fish populations to dwindle. To combat this, we must designate all international waters as no-fish zones, helping to restore the high seas to a thriving wilderness that contributes more fish to coastal waters. Rewilding the Earth will not only capture carbon and increase biodiversity but will also help secure our food supply. To further this effort, we should establish a network of no-fish zones in coastal waters worldwide. A prime example of the success of this strategy can be witnessed at Cabo Pulmo, Baja California in Mexico. In the 1990s, this area faced overfishing, which led the fishing community to set aside a marine protected area spanning 7,000 hectares where no fishing was allowed for 15 years. The result was a 400% increase in marine life, including the return of sharks, and a resurgence in the fishing industry and tourism. Preserving land-based wilderness, however, poses a different challenge. Unlike international waters, land is owned by people, making it subject to perceived value. The value placed on land is typically determined by the crops it can yield, but we need to shift our perspective to valuing land on its biodiversity. By doing so, practices like deforestation would cease immediately. While these measures are essential, they alone aren't enough. In order to truly make a difference, we must also focus on adopting clean energy sources and implementing more eco-friendly farming practices. By striving towards these goals, we'll work to rewild Earth and secure the stability of our planet for future generations to come. Embracing sustainable energy. The deteriorating condition of our planet requires a return to older ways of living cohesively with nature, without dismissing the importance of technology. In fact, technology is vital in building a more sustainable world by harnessing clean energy from sources like the sun, wind, and waves. Countries like Albania, Iceland, and Paraguay are prime examples of successfully transitioning away from fossil fuels. If we aim to preserve our way of life, time is of the essence, as global temperatures are projected to rise past 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the decade unless we adopt counteractive measures. Overcoming fossil fuel dependency will demand determined efforts, such as implementing carbon taxes, investing in carbon capture technology, and rewinding the world to enable plants to help mitigate atmospheric carbon levels. Humans have heavily relied on fossil fuels, releasing immense amounts of carbon back into the atmosphere since the 1950s. This tremendous consumption has accelerated the most urgent crisis we've ever experienced, leaving us with less than a decade to convert to clean energy and reduce Earth's average temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Even with significant advancements, current technology remains insufficient for addressing the challenge of our planet's survival. Overcoming the status quo entails detaching from powerful oil and gas companies dominating governments and corporations. One effective solution is the implementation of a carbon tax, where entities generating carbon emissions would incur financial penalties. Sweden illustrates the success of this approach, having implemented a carbon tax in the 1990s, which resulted in numerous sectors divesting from fossil fuels. Moreover, carbon capture technology presents another possible answer to our environmental crisis. This innovative technique extracts carbon from the air, providing a long-term, sustainable solution. Though promising, it is worth noting that nature has been utilizing a similar method, through plants, for eons. Rewilding our world and promoting the growth of plants, trees, and other carbon-absorbing species could result in harnessing untapped possibilities in the fight against climate change. In conclusion, shifting to clean energy is imperative for constructing a more sustainable future. We must leverage technology and adapt to new ways of living harmoniously with nature, while still pursuing advances that can benefit our environment. By imposing carbon taxes, investing in carbon capture methods, and rewilding our world, we can build a brighter and more sustainable future for all.
Ultimately, A Life on Our Planet implores us to reconsider humanity's relationship with the environment and underscores the urgent need to restore balance to our ecosystems. With a combination of empowering women, conserving and rewilding wildlands, using technology wisely, and transitioning to clean energy, we can still turn the tide and create a future that not only ensures our survival but also the flourishing of countless other species. We hold the potential and the tools to create a sustainable world, but it requires a collective effort and difficult changes. This book serves as both a cautionary tale and a rallying cry to embrace our responsibility and take swift, transformative action towards a better future for Earth and its inhabitants.